Alright, so I'm going to start with this piece of wood that I already had. I know it's from Lowe's. So this piece of wood is stained in 3 different colors, and I honestly don't know the name of the colors. All I know is that they are dark brown because it was a while back that this was stained, and I don't have those stains anymore. I'm going to cut this in 4 different pieces, and all pieces are going to be different size. So I am going to just mark it down before I cut them. To cut this, I use my electric saw. I'll have that link down in the description box in case you want to check it out. I like using this saw whenever I am cutting thicker wood, and then when I'm cutting thinner wood, I like to use my hand saw because I don't have to go outside. I am sanding down all the edges using my paper sand sheet. For the letters, I'm using the stickers letters that I got from Michael's a while back, and I'm using the L, the V, and the E. I am going to do a reversible stencil. I think that's how you call it. Once I had my stickers, I make sure I did press them down really good because sometimes they tend to bleed. Now I'm going to use my white chalk paint to go over these, and I am not painting this perfect. I do want some of the brown to peek through to make this look more farmhouse. For the O block, I painted the entire thing. I did let this dry for a couple of minutes. I didn't let it dry completely because then the sticker will stick to the wood, and I'm using this Cricut tool to carefully remove each sticker. Once I remove the stickers, I then let this dry completely. I then use my sand sheet to send them out, and I absolutely love how this made it look. I then used a wet napkin to clean them off, and look how this looks. It looks so beautiful. Now to finish this off, I'm using this grapevine heart that I got last year from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use a little piece of ribbon to make this hang. And that is it, guys. That is it for this beautiful love decor. Starting with my favorite DIY, I will be making a wood decor caddy using these Dollar Tree wood planks. 6 come in a pack, but I'm using 5. And the last one, I will be using it for my 3rd DIY. Now, to make the sides, I will be cutting 2 of them on one side into triangle shapes. To cut the sides, I will be using my jigsaw, and you can purchase this in my Amazon link. I'll have it down in the description box in case you want to check it out, or you can use a hand saw. Either one will work. I'm going to glue everything together to make the caddy. I'm using hot glue, but I will be adding some Jenga blocks for extra support. You can use wood glue if you like. I just chose not to because I don't like waiting for everything to dry 24/7. I mean 24/7. 20, I don't like waiting 24 hours to start painting it. I added 4 Jenga blocks each on one corner. Now I'm adding 2 Jenga blocks, one on each side. This is so when I add the bottom piece, which is going to be the 4th little wood plank, this is going to adhere to. So I'm using hot glue once again. You can always use wood glue if you like. For the little handle, I'm using a square dowel. Dollar Tree carries circle dowels that you can use instead. I don't remember where I got this from, but I am going to cut it to sides, then glue it. To glue this, I'm only using hot glue. To paint my caddy, I'm using this color I made using the apple barrel acrylic paint in chestnut, black, classic caramel, and the Waverly chalk paint in the color mineral. The next thing I will be doing is making a little white square in the front using white chalk paint. And to make the square, I did use some of the Dollar Tree painter's tape. One mistake I did was I didn't measure how big the little transfer image was, and I had to redo the square. So I do recommend you measuring it before you do this. Now, you don't have to do this if you paint the caddy white. Now you can see here the square is a lot bigger. Now I'm going to just sand it down. Once I am done doing that, I'm going to transfer the little image I'm using, which it says farm fresh, flower, seeds, stems, and blooms. When transferring the image, one thing I do recommend you is to like tape down the sides, so like that when you start pressing it down with whatever you're using, you don't move it. And this was so easy. Now look how beautiful this looks. Now you can add whatever you like to this little caddy. What I'm using is 2 of the Dollar Tree little crafter square little bottles, and I painted them white, and I added some juice string to the top with a bow. So once I am done putting the bow, I'm adding the greenery, then I'm adding both of these little vases into the caddy. And look how cute this turned out, which is absolutely my favorite. For this project, I wanted to make something big and something that can be used all year round. So I did pick up 4 of these signs from the Dollar Tree. I will be removing the sides and the paper. By the way, you do want to save the strings because this is what I use to hang these to my wall. Even though I removed the paper, I'm still using the back, and I'm going to paint it using some white chalk paint. The reason I removed the paper is just to make this look more high-end. Once they were all dry, all I did was just glue the sides back on the signs. And this is how it looks once I have cut all around it. I then just weaved it out. Now I'm going to use some transfer tape to just transfer this to the signs. I started with the H first. I then continue with the M and then the E. So now for the O on the sign, I'm adding this little clear hook that I got from the Dollar Tree. So like that, I can add whatever wreath I want to this, so then I can use this all year round. For example, for right now for Valentine's, I am using this heart, and then after Valentine I can always just change it to a regular wreath. And what I love about this DIY is that you can use this vertical or horizontal, whatever you prefer. They both will look great and they look so high-end once they are on the wall. For this DIY, I will be using this Valentine themed sign that I got from the Dollar Tree. Now you can find similar signs to these at Dollar Tree. They don't have to be Valentine's. You can actually use whatever sign. And I'm using the large popsicle sticks that are also from the Dollar Tree. Now I'm going to start by cutting the edges off. And I don't remember how many popsicles I used, but I did use quite a few. So after I was done cutting all the edges, I then started to glue these to the sign. Only 3 fit. Once I was done gluing the third one, I then put another one in there, and then I just cut the extra part off. Once I am done with the first row, I'm going to repeat the second row, but this time the one with a small little popsicle stick is going to be on the opposite side. So I will be repeating this until I finish filling the entire sign. Now for the last row, as you can see, it didn't fit. So what I decided to do is just cut the extra part off. Now you can leave it like that, but I just didn't like how it looked. The edges are a little bit rough, so I will be using a scent sheet and smooth them out. The next thing I will be doing is just painting my sign using the Waverly Antique Wax. So because these Dollar Tree popsicle sticks aren't that even, you can see a little bit of the red and the gold in between some of the popsicle sticks. So what I decided to do is grab a tiny little paintbrush and use some black paint to just try to paint it in there. Once I was finished, I then used a wet napkin to wipe it down, and this made the black blend in with the antique wax, and it actually made it look a lot better. It looks a little bit darker. I absolutely love the color this turned out. For the word home, I decided to use my Cricut because it made this a lot easier. Now, if you don't have a Cricut, you can always use poster sticker letters, and you can do the reversible stencil. I actually have a few videos where I have done that. I can always just link them down in the description box in case you want to check those out. For the letter O, I will be using this little mini wreath that I got from Target. It was $3. Well, 3 come in a pack for $3. And this was also from their Christmas season. But honestly, I don't think this looked Christmas to me. I feel like this looks more like all year round wreath. So that's why I decided to use it. Now to hang it, I did use a small thumbtacks. And that is it for this home sign, which I think it turned out beautiful. It's actually my favorite one, and it was so easy and affordable to make. My next project is definitely one of my favorite ones. So from Dollar Tree, I will be using one of these Valentine decor signs. I know this is from Valentine, but Dollar Tree does carry similar ones all year round. It's just depending on the season what they might look like. So I'm going to start by removing the paper. The only reason I removed it was because it was already peeling off, so I decided to just remove it. I will be using the other side, so I did remove the sticker and then I paint over this using some white chalk paint. I'm going to set this aside and let it dry. Meanwhile, I'll be working on my next part, which I will be using some Dollar Tree wood planks. 6 come in a pack, but I'm only using 3. Out of these 3 pieces, I will be making 6, so I am going to cut these, and I do want 3 to be a little bit bigger than the other ones. To cut this, I will be using my handsaw in this meter box, which I got from Home Depot or Lowe's, one of those, but they are very inexpensive and they're so easy to use. So now I'm going to paint 3 of my wood pieces, the larger ones to be exact, white, and then the 3 other smaller ones I will be using the Waverly chalk paint in the color steel. And this is how they look once everything's dry. Now this is the way I'm going to arrange the wood planks. Gray, white, gray, white, gray, white. For the word spring, I will be using these Dollar Tree poster sticker letters. So I decided not to use an eye, and instead of that, replace it with this little pick I'm making. I did cut several of the lavender and the greenery from my planter. I'm using some jute twine to tie everything together. Then I will be making a small jute twine bow and add this to my little floral pick. And look how beautiful it's turning out. Now the next thing I did was just glue these little wood slats, and the way I'm doing it is I'm going to overlap them, but just a tiny bit to where you can still see the words, and I'm using some Jenga blocks on the back for extra support. To finish it off, I decided to add some of this beautiful Dollar Tree burlap ribbon, and I'm going to glue it all around the bottom piece. You don't have to, I just decided that I needed something else. Like I felt like it looked too plain. But other than that, that is it for this beautiful tabletop spring decor sign. Starting with the welcome sign from Dollar Tree, I'm going to use one of these large decor signs. I absolutely love these because they are this plain wood color and you can decorate this however you like. So what I'm going to do is reversible stencil, and I'm using these poster sticker letters that I got from the Dollar Tree. As you can see, this pack I used most of the letters, so I'm going to cut one by one. And I didn't find any on this pack, so I am going to use 2 packs. And the easiest way so you don't cut other letters is by just unfolding the sheet, and it makes it so much easier to cut them. Once I am done doing that, I am going to start putting them on my sign, and then I'm going to paint them using some white chalk paint. Another thing I didn't cut was the O because I am going to draw an egg for the O, and then I'm going to paint it white as well. To decorate my sign a little more and make this more Eastery, I am going to use this beautiful buffalo check pink paper that I got from Hobby Lobby. So I am going to start by cutting a piece, and then I'm going to glue it to the back. I decided to add some of the same paper to the egg, so I am going to cut a piece off and then just glue it to the egg, and this is going to make this coordinate so much better. And honestly, I absolutely love how this turned out. I felt like it was a little bit too plain still, so I decided to add some of this burlap ribbon that I had. To finish this off, I will be using this beautiful floral pick that I got from Hobby Lobby. It is $9.99, but I got it for 50% off. And I did remove 4 stems, and then I tied them together in the center using some U-twine. After that, I'm going to glue this to the bottom of my sign and add a U-twine bow in the center. And that is it for this beautiful welcome sign. For my next project, I will be using this wood carrot that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to remove the tag, and then I'm going to just show you how I painted this. So you can grab a snack and then just watch this, because I won't be talking much. I will be just mentioning the colors I use. Starting with the leaf, I use the apple barrel acrylic paint to color the little 3D using the color marsh green. And then I used tropical foliage for the rest of the leaf. I added some details with the leftover paint that was on the paintbrush. Now I'm going to use the Waverly chalk paint in the color pumpkin, and then I thought that the carrot was way too bright, so then I decided to add some of the apple barrel acrylic paint in the color apricot. And as you can see, the carrot does have like a darker spot. That was because the paintbrush had some black, and that's what gave it those details. The next thing I did was add the word welcome, and I am using these Hobby Lobby stickers. I then decided to add more details to this using the white paint marker, and I think this made it look so much better. Now I'm adding a jute twine bow to the center, and that is it for my carrot. The last thing I did was just add a hanger to this. I did have to drill a hole so then I can hang this sideways instead. And that is it for this beautiful welcome carrot. Look how beautiful these new Dollar Tree signs are. Both sides are this whitewash color. Now for this project, I will be using 3 of these signs. I will be cutting the part where the star is at. I use my electric jigsaw, which I will have it linked down in the description box in case you want to check it out. And this is how they look once you cut off the star. Now you have 3 beautiful boards that you can use. Now to put these together, you can use some popsicle sticks. These are the large ones from Walmart, which you can see here. They're still a little bit small, so I decided to use some old paint sticks that I already had. I only used 2, and I'm going to glue 1 on each side using some hot glue. You can honestly use either side of this sign to make something. I decided to use this side instead. Now I'm going to add this family sign that I recently got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use a sponge to only paint like the top part using some black paint. This wall decor does seem a little similar to other ones I have done, but honestly this one is so nice that it beats all of the other ones I have done. I did try to do other things with this sign, but this was the one that I loved the most, so I kept this one. Now the wreath I'm using is from Target. It is from the dollar spot. I usually use a little clear hook to add the wreath, but this time I decided to use this Dollar Tree ribbon to make a little hanger, and then I'm not gluing this directly in front of this sign. I am going to just glue it to the back. And that is it for this beautiful large wall decor. My next project, I will be using 3 of these new Dollar Tree items, which are these little wood fences. I'm removing the sticker in the back and the little hanger. One thing I do gotta say, it was a little bit hard trying to remove these little hangers. Now this project is very easy and simple to do. The next step is to glue these together, and I'm using hot glue. You can't use wood glue, but I decided to just add some popsicle sticks in the back for extra support. To paint this, I will be using the same mixture I made. The best way to paint in between the little cracks is by soaking the sponge and then like squeezing it in there. And that's how I did it. Once this is dry, I'm going to flip it around and add some string to the back to make a hanger. This jewelry I'm using is from Walmart. Dollar Tree does carry some, or you can always use our nautical rope. Or you can even tie all of the little string hangers that came with these fences and make a big one. This metal sign I'm using, it is not from Dollar Tree. I actually got this from Target a while back from the dollar spot, but Dollar Tree carries different metal words that you can use instead, or so does Hobby Lobby and Michael's. And that is it for this welcome decor sign, which I think it turned out beautiful. My next project, I'm using 2 of the 18-inch wood pieces, 3 of these wood pallets, and this bowl that I had. I got this from the Dollar Tree as well. 3 came in a pack, but I'm only using 1. I'm going to start by removing the tags, and I'm going to remove the string from 2 of the wood pallets. On one of the wood pallets, I did have to cut one of the little wood pieces off, and I used my handsaw for that. Now to glue these wood pieces on pallets, or the other way around, to put the little pallets on the wood pieces, I'm using hot glue. And I started by gluing the top and the bottom first, and then I glued the center. That is because I am going to leave like a little space in between them. And as you can see, I did put the one with the little hanger on one of the sides. This is where I'm going to use to hang it. Now, once I am done doing this, I am going to paint this using the same color I've been using. I will be adding some little planters on this, so I am using the bowl and I'm going to cut this in half. This is plastic, so I use my scissors. I'm using some hot glue to glue these. Now I'm not adding anything heavy inside these little planter, that's why I only use hot glue. But if you want to add something heavy, I do recommend you using like something more heavy duty for this. For the greenery, I'm going to just add some of this greenery that I already had. And that is it for this beautiful wall decor piece. I will be using this wall sticker that says, "Our family's gathering place, sit long, talk much, laugh often." And I will be using this love sign that I got during Valentine's at the Dollar Tree. Now, Dollar Tree carries some of these signs that you can use instead. I'm going to start by removing the paper in the front just to make this look clean. I will not be using the front, I will be using the back. So I'm going to paint it white using some white chalk paint. Now, after letting this dry completely, I will be adding the sticker, and I'm going to add it more towards the top because I'm going to add some greenery at the bottom. I will be using the greenery that I got from Walmart. This is the eucalyptus. I cut 2 stems off and I tied them together using some jute twine, one going one direction and then the other one going the other direction, leaving a space in the center. Once I'm done tying this, I will be gluing this at the bottom of the gathering place sticker, and I will be using hot glue. The space in the center, I will be making a bow using the Dollar Tree ribbon. I will be making a double bow without a tail, so I'm going to cut 2 pieces of the ribbon, but first I'm going to scrunch them together like this. Not using a piece of string, I'm going to just tie them together, and then I'm going to glue this right in the center of the greenery. For the hanger, I will be using a piece of jute twine and some Dollar Tree beads. I'm going to just add several of these beads to the jute twine, and then I'm going to tie them to my sign. And that is it for this wall decor sign, which I think it turned out beautiful. And I'm going to start with the wheel, and these are the colors I'm going to use to paint this. I will be painting this wheel 2 different colors, but I painted the entire wheel white first because the blue I'm using is acrylic paint, and usually with acrylic paint you have to layer it so many different times until you get that color. For the handles, I will be mixing 3 different colors to make a dark brown. I will be using the Dollar Tree painter's tape to add the blue, and I am going to go one by one so I can use the same tape on all 4 of the little sections I will be painting blue. For each section, I did give this 2 coats of this navy blue, and until I was finished with the 4th section and I was looking at it, I was like, the blue is too light. So what I did to fix that, I added some of that blue with a little bit of black paint to make this look darker, and it actually gave me the perfect navy blue that I was looking for. So now I'm going to just decorate my wheel, and I'm using the Dollar Tree nautical rope. On each section, I will be going around it 4 times to make it thick. Once I am done with my first one, I'm going to go ahead and do it 7 more times around the wheel. To finish this off, I'm going to add this beautiful anchor decor that I also got from the Dollar Tree, and I honestly didn't have to do anything. All I did was just hang it on one of the handles, and that is it for this beautiful ship wheel. From the Dollar Tree, I'm just showing it to you here, but I am going to reuse one that I already used. I'm going to just take this apart, remove the ribbons, and then I'm going to glue some nautical rope around it to make this into a little bead home. For this jar, I recommend 2 ropes. I only used like 2.5 because I had one and then half of another one, so I didn't have enough to go all around it. So here I did have to use another rope that I had, and it is a lot thinner, but I still made it work, and you can't really tell the difference. This jar actually had like the perfect shape for this. Now I'm going to add the little door using some black chalk paint, and then once this is dry, I'm going to add some more rope around the little door. And that is it. Now you have this little home and it's a base. So I'm going to add some of the greenery from Walmart, the sunflowers, the mimosas. And that is it for this beautiful planter, which is absolutely my favorite one. I will be using the largest canvas that Dollar Tree carries, this 11 by 14 inches, and 2 Dollar Tree wood pieces. I painted the pieces of wood the same color. I then glued them on each side of the canvas. Now you have a nice piece of canvas with a wood frame. Now you can add whatever you like to this. I decided to use my Cricut and cut this "Welcome to our home." And I'm going to add it to the bottom. Then I'm going to add a small little wreath at the top. Instead of using a clear little hook, I just used a thumbtacks and then just add it to the wood instead of the canvas. Now, to hang this, I will be adding a piece of jute twine to the back, and that is it for this beautiful wall decor piece. For my next hack, I'm using a 5x7-inch canvas and this Dollar Tree planter. Now I'm going to start by removing the staples, the plastic, to paint the frame. Once again, I'm using the same paint, but for the planter, I am using some white chalk paint. I did give this 2 coats. And look how beautiful the planter looks white. Now I'm using these flexible stencils that I recently purchased at the Dollar Tree. I think these are new because I haven't seen these before. Now I am going to add It's Good to Be Home. And to do this and it doesn't move, I'm going to tape it down. But first I am going to try to remove a little bit of the adhesive, so when I remove the tape, some of the paint won't come off. The best way to paint this is to use a sponge instead of a brush. I did go over it twice, that's why it bled a little bit, but I still like how this turned out. To hang my basket, I will be adding the piece of frame to the back. To add the frame, I started by adding hot glue first, so like that the basket doesn't move. And then I will be adding some screws, 1 on each side. This is going to make it very sturdy. And look how beautiful this turned out. The last thing I did was add some Walmart greenery. Now, the ones I'm using are from the fall season, but Dollar Tree carries these all year round. It just has different images on them. I'm going to use 6 of these for my first project. Now, I'm using the back, but I did remove the front images just so my projects can look cleaner. So it's totally up to you if you want to leave it or take it off. After removing the sticker, I'm going to glue the first 2 decor signs together. Now I'm going to use a combination of wood glue and hot glue. For the other 2 that I'm going to make, I am going to cut them, but before I cut them, I am going to glue them together. And now, before I glue them, I'm going to just mark them down where I'm going to cut them, just so when I glue these together, I don't add hot glue on the other side, so like that I can reuse these little pieces. Now, it's totally up to you if you want to cut them first and then glue them, or just do it like I did, but I felt like this was easier for me since I am using my jigsaw. And this is how they look. Now for the vase, I'm using a Dollar Tree shelf. Now I'm going to just cut this a little bit down, just because 1, I felt like it was too long, and 2, as you can see, they have 2 holes on each side, so instead of leaving them, I decided to cut them. So if by now you haven't guessed what I'm making, I am going to make these little pumpkins out of these decor signs. So before I glue the pumpkins to the vase, I am going to paint them first. So I'm going to paint one of the pumpkins using some white chalk paint mixed with a little bit of ivory, so it can be, or actually this is not ivory. I'm going to make the color ivory. This is like a butter something. But if you already have an ivory, you can just use that. The other one is going to be white, and then the other one is going to be green using the Waverly chalk paint in the color celery. Once these are dry, I'm going to distress the edges and make these look more farmhouse. For the stems, I will be using 2 Jenga blocks that I glued together and painted them using the Waverly Antique Wax. And look how cute these pumpkins are turning out. Now I'm going to start gluing these to my little stand, and I'm going to start with the middle pumpkin, which is going to be the tallest green pumpkin, and I'm using a combination of wood glue and hot glue. Then I will be gluing the other 2 right in front of it, but this time I'm going to overlap them just a little bit. And I'm going to glue one on each side. To decorate the pumpkins, I will be using this 2-tone berry garland that I got from the Dollar Tree. Now, I got mine last year, but don't you worry because Dollar Tree is carrying some berry garlands this year. I'm not quite sure if they are carrying the exact same colors, but they are carrying berry garlands that you can use instead. Now, I'm going to cut 3 pieces and add 1 to each pumpkin. As you can see, I am not gluing anything. I'm just twisting. And then to finish it off, I will be adding a jute twine bow to each pumpkin. And that is all I'm doing to the pumpkins. You can totally add more things to it, like leaves. You can add a big wreath, like right in front of the big pumpkin. I don't know, there's so many different things that you can do, but I am leaving mine just like this. So that is it for this beautiful pumpkin stand, which I think it turned out so cute and gorgeous. From Dollar Tree, I will be using 2 large wood leaves, 1 large wood pumpkin, and this grateful galvanized sign that I removed from a pumpkin that I will show you later on. Starting with the leaves, I painted both of them with the Waverly Antique Wax. Now, because I'm going to glue the pumpkin on top of the leaves, I am not painting this part of the leaves. And for the pumpkin, I will be mixing 2 different colors, the Waverly chalk paint in the color Ivory and this white chalk paint, which I accidentally added way too much, but I did fix that by just putting it back in the bottle. For the stem, I used whatever was left over on the sponge, and now I'm going to add some details to the pumpkin, which I mix a little bit of white chalk paint and some antique wax. And so far this is how it looks. I did add a little bit more and made it a little bit darker. I tried to add some white to the leaves, which I kind of liked, and I left them like that until the end. I will be changing that and then just go over it with the antique wax, which you're going to see at the end. I think it looks so much better. The next step is to glue the pumpkin on the leaves. Now I used a lot of hot glue and that's the only thing I use. But if you feel like you need extra support, you can add popsicles to the back. The last thing I will be doing is adding the grateful sign with a green bow. I forgot to mention I did add small little popsicle sticks to the back of the big leaves just to cover the little holes that it has. But that is it for this beautiful grateful large sign. Next up, I will be making this Merry Christmas wooden bead frame sign, which is on sale for $22.49. For this project, I will be using this Dollar Tree frame. The beads I removed from the wooden circle, a paint stir stick, the Dollar Tree vinyl, but I used my Cricut to cut out the word Merry Christmas, and from Hobby Lobby, this scrapbooking paper. I'm going to start by measuring the paint stir stick. Each little square I'm gonna cut out, it's 1.5 inches, and I'm going to cut 5 squares in total. Once I have all of the 5 squares, now I'm going to add a letter to each little square. Like I said, I did use my Cricut, but I used a Dollar Tree white vinyl. Once I am done adding the letters, I'm going to set this to the side and add the craft booking paper to the frame. Now I'm going to cut it to size, and I won't be using the glass. I'm going to glue the paper using the glue stick. Now that I have the back, before I add this to the frame, I'm going to add the little squares. I'm going to start by adding 6 beads on a piece of jute twine. Now I'm going to just add that jute string all the way at the top, and then I'm going to add a little square in between each beads. And I'm not gluing them, I'm just placing them there. I want them to see where I want them to go before I glue them. Now once I knew where I wanted them to go, I started to glue the little squares to the paper and then underneath the string. Just like this. Hopefully you can understand what I'm doing. It's really hard for me to explain. Now once I am done, I just glue the ends, then place the back on the frame. To finish it off, I will be adding the word Christmas at the bottom. And that is it for this Merry Christmas sign, which is honestly my favorite one. I will be using this black and white Christmas window cling from Walmart, which was 98 cents, and 2 of these Dollar Tree signs, which I love because they already come in the color black, so I don't have to paint them. The first thing I'm going to do is cut the pumpkins off. Since I'm making a large sign, I will be gluing these together, and I'm using some of the Walmart paint stir sticks. I usually add some popsicle sticks on the back for extra support. You can do that. I'm not doing that since I'm not adding anything heavy, and I feel like with these paint stir sticks it is enough. For this project I will be using the Merry Christmas sign, and I'm adding some Mod Podge so I can glue this to my sign. For the next step, I'm going to give you 3 different options. Option number 1 is use the Christmas tree that came with this window clean. Option number 2 is add a wreath, which that is what I was going to do. I was going to make a wreath, but I didn't have the greenery that I wanted to use, or I didn't have enough. So I ended up just using the Dollar Tree vinyl instead to cut out a Christmas tree and add that. So I made a Christmas tree out of paper, and that is what I use as my stencil. The next thing I will be doing is drilling 2 holes to the top part to add a hanger. For the hanger, I will be using one of the strings that came with one of the signs. I'm adding some black and white beads from the Dollar Tree. To finish this off, I will be adding a jute twine bow to the tree. But that is it for this Merry Christmas sign, which honestly, this is my favorite project. Next project, I will be using 2 of the Dollar Tree wood hanging decor signs. This wood plank that accidentally broke, which honestly I was going to just cut it in half, and this deer head that I got from the Dollar General, which was $1. Going to start by attaching both of these wood signs together using some Dollar Tree jumbo popsicle sticks.
Time of year, winter wonderland. My winter wonderland is the time of year. My winter wonderland, my winter wonderland. I wanna sing about the Christmas on its way.
Then I'm going to paint my sign using some white chalk paint, which I added water, and this little sponge had some brown, I think, on it, or some antique wax, and I still used it. I actually like the color this made it look.
To hang around and celebrate this day. Everyone's smiling and it's snowing.
Before I add the other wood pieces, I will be adding the hanger, which I use a piece of jute twine and some Dollar Tree beads.
It's the time of year again. I'm happy you're here. My winter wonderland.
I started off painting the wood pieces with the antique wax, but then I decided that I wanted these to look darker, so I did add a little bit of black paint. Once these were dry, I did add them to my sign. I added the smaller piece at the top and the bigger piece at the bottom. Now I'm going to add the deer head, but instead of adding it in the center, I will be adding it more towards the top because I will be adding some greenery underneath it. Before I add the greenery, I'm adding this rejoice sign that I already had. Now I was going to add a Believe Dollar Tree wood sign, but I remember I already had this and it was already painted, so I just used this. Now I'm going to add this greenery that I got from Walmart, and I will be adding a bow in between both of these picks. And that is it for this sign. The last thing I did was add a little bit of black where the little hole was at, but other than that, that is it. Look how beautiful this turned out. Two packs of these dangling snowflakes and this wood slat. I'm going to start by taking these snowflakes apart. Now Dollar Tree already carries the packs where the snowflakes come in already loose, so you can use that pack instead. Now I'm going to start by painting the wood slat using the same fresh earth color I used earlier, and I'm going to paint the snowflakes using some white chalk paint. There is a total of 8 snowflakes, 4 come in each pack. Now I'm going to only use 6 snowflakes for this project, and I'm going to start by gluing these together. I'm going to make a row of 3 snowflakes, and then on top of that I will be gluing 2. And on top of these 2, I will be gluing the last one, which I am making a tree, as you can see. I forgot to mention that I'm also using 3 Jenga blocks that I painted the same color as the wood slat, and I will be using the Jenga blocks so the snowflake can stand up. To decorate this, I will be using these Dollar Tree pine picks. Now this is also going to give it some support because the pine picks are going to be glued to the snowflake and to the Jenga blocks and the wood slat. To finish this off, I will be adding a bow, and I use the Dollar Tree burlap. And that is it for this beautiful snowflake tree. Starting with my favorite project, I will be using 4 of these Dollar Tree signs, which are beautiful already. So I'm not going to do much to these besides removing the bead hanger with this stapler remover that I got from Amazon. And I'm going to add some sawtooth hooks to the back. So for each frame, I will be adding a letter, and I got the H, the M, and the E from Walmart. Dollar Tree does carry letters that you can use. For the O, I will be making a wreath. So now I'm going to paint the letters. I did start with an acrylic paint, but it was too sheer, so I switched it up to the Waverly chalk paint in the color white. To make the wreath, I will be using this wire jute twine from the Dollar Tree and some of this greenery from Walmart. And now that I'm done with the wreath, I will be gluing the letters to the signs. As you can see, I didn't paint the frames or the inside of the sign because they're already pretty as is. The last thing I will be doing is adding a little bow that I made using this burlap ribbon from Walmart. And that is it for this beautiful high-end large home decor sign. Now these can be used 3 different ways: vertical, horizontal, or in a square. And that is it, guys. Let me know down in the comment section which one was your favorite, because I would love to know. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, bye.